All right, so the Epstein case is absolutely unraveling right in front of us. Trump's attempt to cover it up is imploding like a house of cards. And so he was asked about potentially pardoning Ghislaine Maxwell. I'm going to give you that answer. Understand that we are now on I don't even know what day we're on. Are we on like week 2, week 3 of Mike Johnson trying to prevent Adelita Grijalva from being seated as an official congresswoman because she won this race and she would be the 218th vote. In other words, she would be the official vote that would be able to get the Epstein files motion passed. Namely, it would be Congress forcing the release of all of the Epstein files. And so Mike Johnson is desperately trying to block Adelita Grijalva from being seated as a congressperson, and all the while lying about it, going in front of the media going, bro, I have no problem with her being seated. We can seat her whenever she wants, bro. No big deal. Come on, like let's do it today. And then they're like, definitely not today. And so it's all coming apart. So here we have Attorney General Pam Bondi in a committee hearing, and listen to, this is an amazing moment. So you're going to have Senator Whitehouse ask a question here, which is, this is directly from Michael Wolff and directly from what he personally saw because, he did a whole bunch of interviews with Jeffrey Epstein. And she's going to be asked a direct question about this, and her non-answer is so telling. Watch.
Let me ask you something else. There's been public reporting that Jeffrey Epstein showed people photos of President Trump with half-naked young women. Do you know if the FBI found those photographs in their search of Jeffrey Epstein's safe or premises or otherwise? Have you seen any such thing?
Senator Whitehouse, you sit here and make salacious remarks, once again trying to slander President Trump left and right, when you're the one who was taking money from one of Epstein's closest confidants, I believe, I could be wrong, correct me, Reid Hoffman, who was with Jeffrey Epstein on multiple occasions. And the senator sitting right next to you tried to block the flight logs from being released. Yet you're grilling me on President Trump and some photograph with Epstein? Come on.
The question is, did the FBI find those photographs that have been discussed publicly by a witness who claimed Jeffrey Epstein showed them to him? You don't know anything about that. Okay?
Oh my God. Guilty as fuck. The non-answer is so telling. So what is being referred to there is Michael Wolff publicly said that when he was doing these long-form interviews with Jeffrey Epstein opened his safe and showed Michael Wolff that he had incriminating evidence on Trump, including a picture of Trump with two girls, quote, of an uncertain age, wink, wink, nod, nod, right, that were half naked. One of them was bent over, and they were pointing at Trump and laughing because he had a stain on his pants. That's right. Homie was with girls of an uncertain age nutting in his pants. And there was a picture of said thing that Michael Wolff saw with his own two eyes. And so notice being asking the Attorney General about this directly, and the Attorney General refuses to answer. Why? Because I'm sure that all this stuff was seized on the various raids on Jeffrey Epstein's compounds. And so the FBI had all this stuff. They had all these pictures. And I'm sure other stuff as well. And so this is why Trump came out and said, hey, remove all the stuff that involves me, remove them from the Epstein files. So now you have Pam Bondi being asked directly, and she can't help but fucking desperately try to deflect and say, whoa, Reid Hoffman, you guys in 2023, you didn't release the flight logs, even though you did now, but you didn't release then. And bro, what? I have nothing to say. Caught, bro. Caught. God, I can't believe this got brought up in a committee hearing, that exact picture, because I remember when we covered that salacious detail, I was like, holy shit. All right, more. Ready? So this is Trump being asked about pardoning Ghislaine. Listen to what he says.
His term today, Mr. President.
Say it.
The Supreme Court is back and said that they rejected today an appeal by Ghislaine Maxwell to overturn her conviction. That means her only chance of getting out of prison is a pardon from you. Is that something you're...
Who are we talking about?
Ghislaine Maxwell.
I haven't heard the name in so long. I can say this, that I'd have...
He's such a bad liar. Ghislaine? Who's Ghislaine? I don't even know who Ghislaine is. There's like 78 pictures of him with Ghislaine. He was Epstein's best friend. These people were buddy-buddy. Like, what? He's so full of shit.
To take a look at it, I would have to take a look.
Oh, you have to take a look at it. So you're not ruling it out.
You know, I haven't heard the name in so long. I can say this, that I'd have to take a look at it. I would have to take a look. Did they reject that?
She wanted to appeal her conviction.
And what happened?
They said that they were not going to hear her appeal.
I see. Well, I'll take a look at it. I will speak to the DOJ. I wouldn't consider it or not consider it. I don't know anything about it. So, but I will speak to the DOJ.
Why would she be a candidate for clemency?
I'll speak to the DOJ. So in other words, a pardon for Ghislaine Maxwell is on the table, which is exactly what we all knew. He already delivered for her. He already took her from a strict prison to a very minimum security prison where she could do fucking hot yoga and, play board games with people and shit. So he already delivered, and now it looks like, hey, I might deliver even more for you. As long as, why? She's out there clearing his name. She's out there saying, Trump never did anything wrong to anybody, bro. By the way, she has a track record of being an historic liar.
I don't know. I mean, I'd have to speak to the DOJ. I'll look at it. I have a lot of people who have asked me for pardons. I call him Puff Daddy has asked me for a pardon.
But she was convicted of child sex trafficking.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to have to take a look at it. I have to ask DOJ.
Oh, my God. She's convicted of child sex trafficking. All right, well, I have to take a look at it. I'll talk to the DOJ. No, see, that's where you're supposed to go, oh, of course I'm not going to pardon her. She's fucking child sex. Everybody on the right was doing this, this total attack on, school teachers and all sorts of regular people with no dirt, pretending like they were groomers, pretending like they were pedophiles. There was this, remember this? This was like 2023 or so. Every Republican was smearing every lefty, every liberal, every teacher as some groomer, some pedophile. And then now here you have the fucking Jeffrey Epstein's best friend as president being told, hey, Ghislaine Maxwell was a child sex trafficker. And he's like, I'll take a look at pardoning her. And they're not going to say dick about it. They're not going to say dick about this clip, even though it's incredibly damning.
I didn't know they rejected it. I didn't know she was even asking for it, frankly.
Okay, not done. So now let me show you. This is a shout out to Don Winslow, who made this ad. This is a ad that keeps you up to date on what's happened with the Epstein files. Watch.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein?
Republicans are desperate to stop the release of the Epstein files. They're using every trick in the book to block and delay the release of these files and protect Donald Trump.
What we're simply wanting to do here is give them cover.
No one has been prosecuted except Ghislaine Maxwell. Don't listen to their words. Watch their actions.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients? Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now.
July 2025. The Trump Department of Justice issues a memo stating that no further Epstein documents will be released from federal investigators. July 2025. Mike Johnson ends the session early for August recess to block a vote to release the Epstein files.
The Republican-controlled House Rules Committee has just voted to block the release of the Epstein files.
Because they're afraid to release the Epstein files.
September 2025. Republican members of the House Financial Services Committee block efforts by Democrats to subpoena the Treasury Department for unredacted documents on Epstein's financial transactions. September 2025.
I filed an amendment that would require the Attorney General to release all the Epstein files.
Senate Republicans defeat an amendment from Chuck Schumer that would have compelled the DOJ to release all Epstein files. The amendment failed by a 51-49 vote. Top House Republicans prevented a floor vote on a discharge petition that would have forced the release of the Epstein files. Mike Johnson is refusing to swear in newly elected Arizona Democrat Adelita Grijalva, who last week won Arizona Congressional District 7.
They're so concerned about protecting these rich, powerful men and not having a vote on Epstein that they're not willing to swear in someone who won 69-29 in her election.
He's doing it to avoid a vote on releasing the Epstein files.
Have you ever socialized with Donald Trump in the presence of females under the age of 18?
Though I'd like to answer that question, at least today, I'm going to have to assert my 5th, 6th, and 14th Amendment rights, sir.
Keep the Epstein story alive. Demand action now. Release the Trump Epstein files.
So what are we on? How many times have they blocked it now? 5, 6, 7 times? Republicans have blocked the release of the Epstein files. And here you have Ghislaine Maxwell, convicted child sex trafficker, and Trump's going, maybe I'll take a look, maybe I'll pardon her. Meanwhile, let's remember, recently she spoke to the DOJ, and she said both Trump and Clinton are innocent. There is no client list. Epstein didn't kill himself, but it's not a conspiracy that killed him. It was just a jailhouse feud. She said Virginia Giuffre and Prince Andrew, that famous picture of them together. She goes, that picture is totally fake. By the way, that came out way before AI, way before you could even fake a picture like that. She denied recruiting any girls for Epstein at all, and she denied doing any sexual abuse, even though she's also guilty of that. So this is who Trump, a child sex trafficker, who's a prolific, pathological liar, this is who he might pardon. Now, he's already done, as I said, he's already done a solid for her by getting her into a minimum security prison, right, where they fucking hold hands and sing Kumbaya all day and do jumping jacks and do hot yoga and play parcheesi and fucking, have classes, do arts and crafts and whatever bullshit. So he's already delivered, but he might even go that next step, bro. And the reason why he would is very simple. Because Ghislaine Maxwell is protecting Trump and his secrets. Trump has a track record of pardoning people and supporting people who lie for him or who protect his secrets. So this is a guy who was Epstein's best friend for a decade, as Epstein is on audio tape saying. He was on Epstein's plane 7 times that we know of. It's definitely more overall because Epstein's been on his plane, and there's some that I'm sure were not logged. The first time Trump and Melania had sex was literally on Epstein's plane, the Lolita Express. Epstein was familiar with all of the inner workings of the Trump White House. And this goes into him being Mossad, is that he knew a lot of stuff that somebody in his position should not know. Trump and Epstein shared a girlfriend, bro. They shared a girlfriend. Trump hosted a private event once at Mar-a-Lago with all these teen models, because remember, you had this teen pageant thing. And the only 2 people that were there were Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. Nobody else was there. It was them and a bunch of teenage girls. Think about that. Epstein literally learned human trafficking from Trump's modeling agency. Trump offered Epstein a job in his first administration. Again, probably to keep him fucking quiet was the point. And then, of course, you have that creepy ass love letter that Trump wrote to Epstein on his birthday. So, man, there is so much dirt there. The House of Cards is falling apart. But here's what's going to happen. Even when Adelita Grajava officially becomes a congressperson and they vote to release the Epstein files, as we already know, Trump demanded the FBI redact everything that involves him in the Epstein files. So what they're going to do is rig it and then release a version of it. And they literally said this openly. Like, they're going to put all the stuff that's incriminating for Democrats, they'll leave in. They'll take out all the stuff that goes after Republicans. It was literally Project Veritas, a right-wing group that released, somebody in the FBI or the DOJ saying this outright. Like, yeah, we're going to leave in all the bad stuff for Democrats, take out all the bad things for Republicans, and then we're good to go. This is who we're dealing with. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.